Welcome back to Male Choices. Today's story is about a woman who destroyed her 16-year marriage and instantly regrets it. You won't want to miss this one. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more insightful stories. Let's dive right in.
Not trying to flex, but it kind of is a flex. I have no idea what y'all are talking about with these month-long, 6-month-long situationship. A guy who strings you along forever. Like, if a guy isn't trying to lock you down after, like, date 2, I'm sorry, I know that seems soon, but, like, he doesn't like you. Like, men, if you literally were on a date with your dream woman, wouldn't you want to get her away from the other men pursuing her, like, immediately?
Okay, so you're right. I mean, you do have the room to flex. Pop off, queen. I mean, you're very gorgeous. Some of us don't know what that's like to have a guy see us on the first date and go, oh, I want to keep you away from all the other men and control you. I mean, love you. Because that's not what they're doing. Like, when you're pretty, they love you. They're not trying to control you or just use you for your body either. They're only doing it to us in our situationships. Only to us. Only to the mediocre or ugly women. They're only using us. They don't use pretty girls. Pretty girls get treated right. You're not an object to them. You're not arm candy to them. They see you as a human, and we bow to you. We bow to you, beautiful queens of the world. Some of us don't know what that's like, so we're like, well, he took me on a couple dates. Does that mean he likes me? And then he's talking about futures with us, and we get kind of strung along for a while sometimes. It kind of sucks. But unlike pretty girls who get married real quick and then get trapped in a marriage with like 3 babies and then they can't get out because they were so hot that they completely isolated them from their friends and families and kept them as their trophy wife forever, some of y'all get the game ran on you for years, the whole life. My pretty friend in school, she's never been single before. She's 16 years old when she first got with the guy, and then she just back to back, and she's still with the guy. She's never been single. So congratulations for never finding yourself and for being trapped with a man. I'm honestly glad I was ugly and mediocre looking. Thank God, because men are stinky. When you're age 40, you realize how bad they smell, and you don't want that shit in your bed. They mess up your house and bulldoze your blankets. Enjoy that. I'm happy that you got picked. Congratulations. Also, when you're younger, you get eyelashes and makeup to look pretty for the men, and when you're older, you get them to manipulate them for money. It works really well. Check out these bad boys. Check out that. You know how much cash I get because of these? It also pisses off the guys online. They hate these things. They go, I don't like your lashes. Well, it makes me a lot more money, so I don't know what you're talking about. Anyways, your lashes are very pretty, and you got a nice face stuff done. I got face stuff done for one thing, so they could put that cash in my hands. Anyways, congratulations.
Here's the truth these women don't seem to grasp. Men aren't impressed by your looks, your beauty, or even your career the way you think we are. It's not about your designer bags, makeup, or your job title that makes you some prize to be won. Men aren't out here trying to win a trophy. We're looking for something deeper, someone who brings real value to the table, beyond the surface-level qualities. Some women walk into a first date like the man already has to prove something to them, acting as if he should be grateful just to sit across from them. But let's be real, just because he took you out doesn't mean he's head over heels or sees you as someone special. A date is like a test drive, not a guarantee of interest. What truly matters to men is your character, your ability to bring peace into his life, your respect, and your willingness to support him. Looks and a resume won't cut it. Yet so many women think that being attractive or having a successful career is all it takes. When men don't act impressed or commit after a few dates, they get upset and confused, blaming the man for playing games. The reality is, it's not that men don't value them, it's that we don't value the things they think are important. So when a man takes you on a date, don't assume he's already invested or trying to win you over. He's observing, seeing if there's anything beyond the surface. If all you bring is an inflated sense of self-worth based on things we don't really care about, don't be shocked when he doesn't stick around. At the end of the day, men want more than just a trophy. We're looking for someone who adds real value to our lives, not just what the world sees.
Today is the first anniversary of the day on which my life exploded. Yeah, it's now a year since my life changed in a massive way. when my marriage exploded. I say marriage, we weren't actually married, but we were together 15, 16 years. We had a lovely house together, 2 kids, dog, cat, pets, living the dream, or so I thought. A year ago today, that all came crashing down completely unexpectedly to me. And it's literally created like an indelible line in my life. It's like pre-breakup and after breakup. Bit like COVID, pre-COVID and post-COVID. It's so defined in my head, that date. And reaching the first anniversary of it, it really brings mixed feelings. Now, as I have reached this milestone, I thought perhaps I would just sort of, I don't know, reflect on some of the things that I've learned. Because what I have found is that by sharing my journey, there's loads of people that are going through the same. And it's given me huge comfort. Not that I want other people to be in the same boat as me, but to know that people have been in this situation and have got through it and are now happy and living a really happy and fulfilling life. So over the last year then, I've had the relationship breakdown. I have had to sell our substantial dream matrimonial home, and I've bought my own house. Both kids started new schools this year. I've lost contact with various former family members. Yeah, it's really been the perfect storm of catastrophe, if you like. And if I'm honest, there were days when I didn't think that I would get through it, when I just would go to bed and just wish that I don't know, not that I didn't wake up the next morning, but just wished and wished that the situation was different. It was so physically as well as mentally painful. I lost a lot of weight. I didn't care for myself because I was putting all my energy into the kids and to try and create a safe and loving home for them. But as the weeks and months moved on, when the shock started to subside, I began to find myself again, I suppose. Of course, social media is only a really curated snapshot of part of what's going on in anybody's life at a given time. And whilst I do share the good and the bad, it is only a snapshot that people see. And, behind the scenes, things have been and continue to be, if I'm honest, really, really, really challenging. But one of the main things I've learned is how when you put my feet to the flames, I'm somebody that really steps up. I've thrown all my effort into trying to just show love for the kids and to a degree to myself. I'm not worthless. I'm trying my best. And with that, it also means trying the best for myself, not just for the kids. And so, like I say, over the weeks and months, I began to sort of care for myself again. You guys sharing your journeys made me see that, yes, the world is very, very different now, but it can be different in a positive way. So here I am, sat in my lovely house. The sun is streaming through the window. I'm looking out onto the garden. The dog's at my feet. The kids are upstairs, and we're muddling on. For me personally, I kind of feel that now I'm not just muddling on. I'm actively managing what my life is going to look like. There is a strange freedom in being on your own. If I want to paint my bedroom pink, I can. I can choose what I want to spend my money on, where I want to go. There is definitely a freedom in that I've never really had before in my life. And I suppose one of the biggest gifts that's given me is the freedom to do this, to do the social media thing. I enjoy the community and the shared experiences that we have, and the funny comments, and the different points of view and all different things that crop up, just by sharing some posts, whether it's about charity shop finds or fashion or traveling or just heart to hearts like this. It just makes me realize that we're not on our own, are we? Even if you feel that you're on your own, these days you're not. If you reach out, there are people that are there for you. And that's another really big thing I've learned, is that the power of friendship, whether that's in-person friendship or online in an online community, it's really significant. And that has helped me through some really, really dark times. I'm not going to get all maudlin. I don't feel brilliant, I'll be honest. Today is a challenging day for me. I'm finding it more challenging than I was expecting it to be, if I'm honest. But I'm not going to get all melancholy. Things are still pretty difficult, and that's surprising me how long things take to settle. I don't really have any sage, wise words of advice other than it might not feel like it. If you're in the middle of a breakup or you're feeling really, really low, you might feel like you're at the bottom of the well and you just can't see a way out of it. The sides feel slippery and the top of the well seems a really, really long way away. What I've learned is that day by day, sometimes hour by hour, if you just keep getting up, showing up and moving forwards, you will find your way out. I don't say that I'm necessarily out of the well yet. I think I'm making good progress in getting towards the exit or the light. I don't think I'm there yet. And of course, the sides are slippery, so for every few steps up you go, sometimes you slip back down a few as well. But when you're in the depths of grief or depression or sadness or anger even, you can't see the bigger picture. If you're anything like me, you're just consumed by those feelings. And it's only with perspective or with hindsight that you can see that all of those feelings are valid and to keep moving on that journey forward. The worst thing you can be, I think, is stuck. So that's what I'm taking from this first anniversary. If I reflect back on where I was, this time last year or in the weeks and months soon after, I was in a really, really bad place, a bad state, didn't know what way was up. Life feels very, very different now. Different in a good way. I'm incredibly sad that things have turned out the way they have. Desperately sad. But that's not to say that I can't go on and still have a really happy and fulfilled life. It's just not the life that I thought I was going to have, not the path that I thought my life was taking. I've always said change is good. I mean, such sudden traumatic change in the moment, obviously, isn't good. And it does have lasting ramifications. But it's trying to find the positives in change. As I move past or move through this first anniversary, it's another first over with. Even though it's the middle of the year, for me, it feels like the start of a fresh year. I've got through that first year, that awful, awful first year. And now I'm moving into the second year. We're coming into summer. I'm interested to see how things will progress in this journey out of the well. If you haven't seen me before, you may well think this is chronic oversharing. And to a degree, it probably is. But anybody that's been following along on this journey with me will know that I do find such warmth and growth, I think, from these shared interactions that we have on social media. I'm not somebody in real life that has a big circle of friends and doesn't solicit advice from people terribly often. So it is a bit bizarre that I tend to do it in a public forum like this. But what I have learned is that if you are vulnerable and if you open up and tell the truth about how you feel, certainly in my experience, I've been met by a wave of affection and support and advice and care. And honestly, genuinely, I don't think I would have got through this last year without that and without the support and guidance that I find from this online community. So as I put this first year to bed, what I really want to say is thank you. Thank you all so, so very much for asking after me, for looking out for me, for caring, and for sharing your experiences, because they genuinely did make me feel less alone and that I wasn't odd or the only one feeling the way I was feeling. And the fact that so many people have gone through this and have now, 5-10 years down the line, they've come out and have got such an amazing life and new love or new happiness, moved, done all kinds of things, that really, really gives me comfort and hope. And when I had little hope over the last few months, it was you guys that gave me it. Thank you.
It's always the same predictable story, isn't it? Here's a 48-year-old woman with 2 kids celebrating her so-called 1-year divorce anniversary, trying to convince herself and everyone else that she's happy. But you can see right through it. Deep down, she's filled with regret for destroying a 16-year marriage. She thought she'd be better off, chasing some fantasy of freedom, living her best life after the divorce. But reality hit her fast. Being single at 48, raising kids alone, trying to survive without the support she once had. It's not the dream she imagined. She can say she's doing fine, but actions speak louder than words. That celebration of her divorce anniversary? It's just her way of covering up the regret that's eating her alive. She made the choice to quit, to walk away, and now she can't undo it. It's easy to leave when you're caught up in the moment. But once the dust settles and you're left standing there alone, the weight of that decision becomes unbearable. Now, she's seeing that the grass wasn't greener on the other side, after all. Women like her are always quick to pull the plug on long-term relationships, thinking independence is the key to happiness. Then they end up lonely, struggling, full of regret. She threw away 16 years, and now she's trying to convince herself, and the world, that she's happy with the outcome. But the truth is obvious. She wishes she could take it all back. But guess what? Once those papers are signed and the family is torn apart, it's too late. The regret is permanent. No amount of fake celebrations or pretending to move on will fix that. Now she's just another statistic, a reminder of someone who thought they'd gain everything, but lost what they could never get back.